Normally don't go this late at night, but something's been sitting on my brain, and I think that we're at a turning point for XRP soon. Something been sitting on my brain, and I think that I couldn't sleep, and I think we're at a turning point for the XRP. Next few weeks are going to make or break XRP, and I think it's going to be huge. SEC is about to make a major move, and they're reviewing actually 6 different XRP ETF applications between October 18th and October 24th. Some big names involved: Grayscale, Wisdom Tree, Bitwise, 21 shares, a lot of big money, a lot of big names. This could become one of the biggest few weeks in XRP's history. I'm getting a lot of messages from you guys, panicked, asking me, is it over? Of course it's not over. There's a few reasons why XRP is not doing as well or under this crash. And it's nothing to do with XRP specifically. We're going to talk about the SEC. We're going to talk about Swift. We're going to talk about Ripple's move into real world assets. We got a lot to talk about tonight. It's a pretty big week for XRP. It's negativity. I think it's a great buying opportunity. I think that you almost would be a fool not to buy it now. But nevertheless, people are panicked and scared. And I think that people you don't want to get panicked, and panic out when something's going down. Now it's at 230. This time last year, XRP was at like 40 to 50 cents. So we're still up 300%, 400%, 400%. I mean, 300% since this time last year. So you have to take that into account when you watch these things. It's not as bad as it seems. There was a crypto influencer that killed himself because he was over leveraged. And and you take on these heavy risks, and when things like this happen, you end up on the negative side. Now, these guys, please share a lot. If you're new to the channel, please, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel and also like the video. I usually don't get on this late, but like I said, I can't sleep. Getting a ton of messages. I got 172 messages, almost all about XRP today, and some about the market on Monday. We're gonna go live tomorrow and talk more about this, but it's not as bad as it seems, and that's why I want to come on and say it's nowhere near as bad as it seems. Whenever a market crash happens like this, and there's a clear driver that's pushing the market down, that's Trump's tariffs. It's temporary. It can't go on forever. Either China has to relent, or the United States has to relent, or everything falls apart anyway. So in those situations, I don't see why people are afraid. Remember, we have a government shutdown along with Trump going crazy with the tariffs. We have two things happening, and the market is not as bad as it should be with those two concurrent things happening. It's not as bad at all if you think about it. I don't know why people are scared. This could be one, like I said, this could be the next few weeks. Could be the biggest weeks in XRP's history. Add to the drama, XRP is trading right around $2.30 right now, but it's holding firm in the middle of this volatile market. Remember, in the crypto market, crypto is seen as a risky asset still. So when the crypto market itself, which is seen as more risky than just Bitcoin, falls, the higher risk, or what people see as high risk, is the cryptos that have went up the most recently. Those will people get rid of first because they've already made a lot of money. Why take the risk? So they dump it off. So that's the reason why XRP is taking bigger losses. Now, when people look at XRP, they say, well, it's going down. Well, it's the same rate as almost every other major altcoin. It's no different. It's slightly worse than Bitcoin, of course, is not going to go down as much because it's the least risky crypto. Let me get this out the way. It's the least risky crypto. So it's not going to go down as much as everything else. Let me get this. So it's not going to go down as much as everything else. And then you got let me look at the chart. Let me see it. I'm actually bring it on the screen if I can get it up, because I think it's important that you see this. If we look at the chart, I mean, what's happening now, especially, let me get this thing out the way so we can see it bigger. Actually, let's make this huge. There we go. So if we look at it right now, right? Bitcoin's down for the week 10%. And if you look down at the top cryptos, XRP is no different than Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano. Actually, is holding better than all the other ones. Chainlink, all of these other altcoins are down worse than XRP. Look at Sui is down 31%, Avalanche 30. In this particular, you have to look at things in reference to what's happening. XRP is not down that bad. Actually, BNB is holding extraordinarily well. Man, that's a crazy crypto, man. I remember when it was like a few dollars. I should have got it then, but it's too late now. But XRP is not doing too bad actually in this environment. Um, I think when people are just overreacting, and there's actually some, and it could be, I believe very, very strongly that it's mass market manipulation in effect too. Is that XRP should be a lot higher than it is right now. I mean, with the environment, with the ETFs on the horizon, and to be 100% honest with you, crypto should be better off. And I'm gonna tell you right now what I think's happening, and it's happened several times. Um, is that I think there's somebody. I'm not blaming Trump directly. I would more likely say his sons are doing it, or his sons are maybe like when Biden at the end of Biden's term, the auto pen was used more than any time in history. And that's because Biden was 76, 77, maybe 80 years old. So when a parent is that old, the children can manipulate the parent. So I believe what's happening right now is the kids, those sons are manipulating Trump to do these things because every time there's a tariff gets announced, there's a mysterious trader that does a massive short on Bitcoin, XRP, all these other, and makes somebody makes $63 million by opening a short position the day before Trump made the announcement. Then he closed the account the day after. Now who goes right in, makes $63 million and then close the account and gets right out. That you have to have inside information on that. Now, the thing about crypto is that insider trading laws do not apply. So you can do that. I need you guys to please like the video if you could. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. But I think that the whole market's being manipulated. And the thing about manipulation, you can only do that temporarily, hold it down temporarily, and eventually it comes back. So, I mean, that's just a temporary hold. You can't hide value forever. Let's move on. Yeah, like I said, is I believe that it was being manipulated. Let me take a look here. Let's see if I can show you something else. Um, well, I can't find it now. But like I said, it's easy could be one of the biggest weeks in XRP's entire history. Add to the drama, XRP's trading at about 234. We've seen a massive wave of liquidations in all of crypto. $19 billion across the whole crypto market. 700 $708 million came just from 700 million, almost $1 billion came from just XRP alone. Now we did see a crypto trader commit suicide in the last, I think, 48 hours because he was over leveraged. Now this is a sad thing about people. Is that this guy or a kid or whatever I think he was in his 20s or late early 30s. He had millions and millions of dollars in crypto. He was a meme coin, all that, on the high risk trades. Now you got $20 million in crypto. Why leverage? Because that's greed. And why leverage everything? Because if the market turns around one day, you lose everything. Now, some people are seeing when they post about this guy, they're saying, oh, he could have just waited until the market came back. Now, there's no reason to commit suicide ever, but that's not how it works. They're over leveraged. So once you get liquidated, you can't get it back. That's why people jumped out of buildings in Wall Street. Now, people always say that, I'm sorry, in the Wall Street crash of 29, because people see, they say, well, it would have came back. It looks insane because they don't understand the market. Those people were using leverage. Once you get liquidated, you can't come back. You lost it. I don't. If the market comes back tomorrow, it doesn't matter. You don't get the money back. So that's the reason why these people panic and just kill themselves or whatever, because it's not like buying Apple and Apple drops 20%. All you got to do is hold it, eventually to go back. That's not what it is. It's leverage trades. Leverage trades are very dangerous because that can happen. If the market just goes down a little bit, you lose everything. And then you can't come back because you have no capital to open up another leverage position. So, yeah, even with here's the wild part about all this. Even with all that selling pressure, institutions, if you can look on the on chain, you can see what's happening. Institutions are buying right now. $1 billion worth of XRP got moved to institutional wallets in the last 2 weeks. $1 billion worth of XRP got moved. That's big money that knows something is coming. Accumulate, like, for this entire year, there's been huge institutional accumulation of XRP. In the last 24 hours, there's been even more so, right? That's what happens in situations like this. Is that, and I do believe it's manipulation. Now, I think that Trump's sons are directly involved in the manipulation, but they're not the only ones manipulating the market. They do it with news, negative news, shorts positions, make a bunch of money, and let the market reset. But there's other manipulations from BlackRock, from these big banks, all in institutions that want to make sure they can control crypto. The only way to control crypto is to own it. You have to own larger percentages of it, because there's no other way to control Bitcoin. Now, or crypto in general, people always say, well, I thought crypto was supposed to be decentralized. It is technologically it is, and it can't be controlled by one party. But the rich, the elite, and the banks are very smart and crafty and sneaky. They said, well, if we can't control it through that, how else can we control it? We could control it through public opinion, like they did for the first part of all of crypto history. Second way, we can control it through the banks. So we can control it through laws. It's illegal to hold Bitcoin and Bitcoin directly. XRP, they could say that. Or we can control it through just owning the asset outright and not put it in our banks. That's actually what happened if you don't know this, a lot of people don't know this, and you can look it up. The market of diamonds is manipulated the same way. And I want you to research. Don't listen to me. I could be some crazy dude on the internet just talking. You don't know that for sure, so look it up. The prices of diamonds were cheap in the early 1900s. It's just a rock out of the ground. They're rare, but they're not as rare as gold. Diamonds are not as rare as people think. So diamonds started to get popular. They started to market it as a lady's best friend, 2 times your salary, get a ring. Diamonds took off early 1900s. So now they realize that a lot of companies went out and started digging for diamonds because they came a pop. Now you can't, there's only 2 or 3 companies in the world that were trading diamonds, so you can't allow that to happen. So you have to artificially manipulate the supply of diamonds. How you do that? Where you buy them all up at the price, you take them, you buy them. The way you make money is not by buying the supply and then selling it. No, that's not the way. The way that you make money is float the supply up, take that supply and put it in a vault, and don't allow the public to have access to it. And now the remaining diamonds you have go up at a higher rate than the total diamonds that you would have had if you didn't do that. And the future diamonds that you mine also carry a large value because they're now artificially rare. And that's the same thing. And even with lab grown diamonds, they make you but like I said, they control things through laws, regulatory ways. You have to etch on each artificial diamond that it's an artificial diamond. So that still creates, people don't, you get a girl artificial diamond, most of them get mad, except for the smart ones. But a lot of women get mad if you give them an artificial diamond, like they're not worthy of a real diamond. But the same thing is happening right now in crypto. If you look at the banks, are buying it all up. What are they going to do with it? Now, Ethereum does have a reason, and I can see why. Why they're buying these assets because they're going to lock them up, put them in a vault. So the remaining ones that they have are worth way more, and that takes time. That's why I'm saying a lot of times XRP's play is not short. It's going to be years, but at the end of the 4, 5, 6 year play, you're going to be extraordinarily rich. Is Sui a buy? Well, every altcoin, including XRP, is more than likely a buy right now. It will recover. It will recover every percentage that you see on the screen in crypto will recover by the end of the year, every negative percentage. So if it's down 30% and you buy it, you're going to make 40% on the way up, close to 40, not all the way. So everything's a buy now. Everything's a buy now. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, if you're, please like the video if you would. Let's get through this content. So, like I said, is that we are at an XRP countdown. Ripple is waiting on approval for U.S. Bank National Charter. That's something else that Ripple is working on to be a chartered bank. October is still the most important month, and we're not even halfway done. And that's probably the reason why they did this right in the middle of October, because that's always a positive month for stocks and cryptos. We could have the ETF decision could be delayed because of the government's shutdown, so we got to watch that. But I believe that XRP, we know earlier on, we know a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that Swift made the announcement they're going to try to build their own blockchain. Now, that's not going to work. And if you look at some of my earlier videos, I talked about how uh, we talked about how XRP was not the only solution for the Swift network. It was a piece, and there would be H bar. You need Chainlink. You need a lot of coins to create a new ecosystem that can send money all around the world. XRP was never going to be the only one. It's going to be the liquidity coin. XRP doesn't have the structure. I mean, through the XRP ledger they do, but Ethereum is actually a stronger structure, and you can trade XRP on Ethereum through wrapped and tokenized. I mean, wrapped XRP in other ways. So, like I said, is XRP was never going to be the only coin. So we know Ripple is working with a lot of financial too. They're working with BlackRock, Van Eck, a lot of big things, big companies, and I think, like I said, Swift has decided to try to build their own blockchain and develop and build on something else, but that's not going to work, or they're preparing for XRP to enter at some point in the future. And the second thing is that XRP is also getting into real world assets. And I think that's a good path for XRP to be on. And I think that that's going to make the addressable market a lot bigger anyway. We got any questions here? I know I'm late and I just want to get on for a few minutes and talk. Love your channel and level-headed perspective. I appreciate it, Mr. K. But like I said, is that all of this is manipulation. Have you ever wondered, when I was a kid and I would see interest rates 3-4% on houses, I was ignorant to how the world works. And I was thinking, why would somebody loan a person $300,000-$400,000 to buy a house at a 2-3% interest rate? Doesn't even make sense. like, if it was in a real world situation, I'm a person. I got $400,000 in the bank. I'm gonna loan it to another dude for 30 years to get 2%. I'll be dead by then. But banks, the rich and elite, don't think like we do. They think extreme long term into the next generation. So they're willing to hold down something for 2-3 years. That's nothing on their timeline. That's nothing. So they could hold down all of crypto for 5 years if they could. I don't think they can hold it down that much, but if they could, they would. Because to them, they don't think in their own life. They think 3, 4, 5 generations down. Why do you think Nancy Pelosi is still day trading? She's 80 something years old. Hopefully, I don't wish death on anybody. But it's almost impossible for her to live another 15 years. It's very improbable, I should say. Now, why is she still day trading? Because she's thinking about that next generation. And then the next one after that. That's why. That makes more sense. The rich, the elite, and the banks, they think 100 years in the future. So 3, 4, 5 years to hold assets like XRP, Bitcoin, it's nothing. They'll do that like it's nothing. Are you going to sell videos from the last conference? Yeah, we already sell. Let me put the link in here. If I can find it, let me see. Yeah, we already have it up for sale from the last conference. I'll put it in there for you. Give me a second. But that's the reason why. Have you ever thought about it? Why is Nancy Pelosi still selling stock? It doesn't even make sense. She should be on a beach somewhere, living her, golden years, and not worried about making more millions. But it's because she's thinking about her children and her children's children and her children's children's children. That's why. And that's how we should think. We, as most people, all races, all ethnicities, most people are struggling. And and in this new environment we're in, that's why we really all need to unite. Is that you have the super rich, but everybody else is basically on the same level. Now you could have 20 million, and that's very good, but you're not up there with the super rich. And they do things way differently to people. People with 110, 20, 30 million. That's not to them, that's nothing. I'm gonna put that link in the chat right now. So here's the link to the event if you didn't. So there it is. You can buy the you can get the it's like 4 hours of videos from the last event. The CNC gets the last video for free, so you don't have to get it. It's gonna be uploaded in CNC tomorrow actually, or probably Monday. I thought today was Sunday. It is Sunday, so tomorrow, yeah. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also like the video. The last time Trump did this, he get a buy signal via Twitter. You see, and like, why is Trump still doing all these things? Because he's thinking about Barron and his kids and his kids' kids and his kid. That's the reason why they continue to do this. There's no other reason. There's no other reason. They're not stupid. They know that they don't have long on this earth. I mean, that's not wrong to say that. And I'm trying to, be respectful here, but it's just the truth. I know I only got them 40, in my early 40s. I know I only have most I have 40 years, if I'm lucky. So why, if I'm planning something for 70 years out, it's because I'm planning for the next generation. XRP burns tokens after a while. Only on the XRP ledger that happens. I appreciate you, Meek Meek. Thank you. Do you think Chinese tariffs are going to get delayed again? I don't think it's going to be long. And the thing about it is that really messed the markets up early this year. Everything was going good with these stupid tariffs. And like I said, is that I'll be honest with you, is that I like Trump during the election, especially at the end, because he's going for Bitcoin and crypto. And I thought that was the right move for the United States. But I don't, these tariff things are stupid. Um, it's just 100% honest ego. And like, I'll come on here and I'll tell you straight to your face, lose followers, I don't care. Some things Trump do I like. Really economically. Now, outside of that, I don't know. But a lot of the things that Trump did economically, I liked, especially in the last administration. But some things he do are stupid. Like this tariff war, I don't believe is worth it. It's the ego driven. It's like two cars driving, like like they used to play in the back in the day, chicken, hoping that the other one turns. With the AI medical innovation, if you make it 10 more years, you're likely to make it to 100. Now, my entire life, Shauna, I've been reading books about the future and thinking about the future. They've been saying that since the 90s. I don't think that's going. I don't think that's going to happen soon. That same statement that you said. My favorite futurist in the world is Ray Kurzweil. And hopefully I can get him at an event in New York one day. This dude has changed my life. He wrote books in the 90s about the singularity, AI singularity, the futurism. He talked futurist books. That's how I got my start in this. And he said in the 90s that we're 10 years from, you can read his book, 10 more years, you'll live forever. No, I mean, we're not still not there. So I don't think that's, I think it seems closer than it is. Hope maybe. I mean, I hope that happens, but I doubt it. Is my audio still like clipping? Like when I screen it go louder, it kind of goes out. I think I fixed the settings here. I'm not sure though. Please, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, like the video. Like I said, as I'll say this, and I'm putting, I believe America's the best country in the world. Man, you can unfollow me if you don't agree. I've been all over the world. You guys have seen me on Instagram. I fly everywhere. I speak everywhere in the world. And I like a lot of places. I was in Argentina this time last year, and I loved Argentina. It was a beautiful place. I was in Dubai 2 years ago. I'm in Europe all the time. I'm in Latin America all the time. I have houses in Puerto Rico. So I go Puerto Rico's part of the US, but kinda. It's not 100%. As people don't realize, it's a commonwealth. It's part of the US like a commonwealth, but it's not a state. So it's not 100% with the states, but it is a territory of the US. So um, a lot of people don't know that. But but the United States is better. It's you have more chance here than anywhere else. You go to Europe, you're gonna pay 70% tax. You go to Latin America, the cartels in most places, like a lot of places, they own everything. You can't be successful without going through them. And other, it's a lot of things. And it's the healthcare is not. If you go to a hospital there, it's not as clean. It's not as and our healthcare is expensive, right? And we do have a lot of problems, but I think we're better than anywhere else in the world. I've been everywhere. And a lot of people, when they go overseas, they go to vacation spots, and then they compare the vacation spots to where they're living back home. Of course, it's going to be better. You're at a resort. I mean, of course, it's going to be better. People are going to be nicer. There's nobody mean to you. You're at a resort. Um, but America is the best place, and I'm sorry, I mean, it's problems, and everything's not 100% right, but it's the best place overall. Some places in the world are horrible. Well, most places are horrible. You got a few shining lights in the world. You got a lot of Europe, North Africa, some Middle East places, some places in Latin America, Australia. I mean, but most of the world is poor. Most of it. I mean, the Virgin Islands, I was there last year. I don't like the Virgin Islands. They were I don't know, maybe I saw the wrong people, but they all seem rude. Maybe I just, I was just there on a bad day, but I didn't like the Virgin Islands. But Dubai is a beautiful city. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life on a city level. But and I would love to live there. Like I would live in London or Dubai if I had another choice. But I still think America overall. If I was, let me see, if I no longer wanted to work and I had $1 billion, maybe I would choose Dubai over the US. But I'm still trying to progress. So if you want to progress and move forward, the United States is the best. Chinese president just said we do not want a tariff war. We're not afraid of one. But the fact that he said we don't want one is weak. So that's actually a good sign for Trump. He shouldn't have said that. He should have said, we'll go ahead to toe. We'll never back down. The fact that he said we don't want it, that's like, okay, let's put it in different terms. Let's say you're about to fight somebody, and a dude comes up to you and says, I don't care. We can fight. I'll never quit. You're scared of that dude. But let's say somebody else comes and look, man, I don't want to fight. I mean, I'll fight if I have to, but but I'm not afraid of you or nothing. But I mean, I don't really don't want to fight. I mean, that's a weaker response. They shouldn't have said that. That actually shows that they're scared. They shouldn't have said. If that's the true quote, they shouldn't have said that. But I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. Yeah. So I asked, is my audio clipping out or is it pretty consistent? Every time I see Meek Meek, I think it says Meek Mills. So like I said,